What's up, guys? Happy Tuesday. We had no NBA games yesterday. We had a super fun national championship game. It was very close, very exciting right until the end. And so, it was not terrible having a day off. But we have, what, 5 slates left in this NBA season? And a lot of them are bigger slates. This one is like 11 games. So, Nick, how we doing? What are we thinking?
Yeah, man, we got to grind through these last few slates. Tons of value everywhere. I mean, there's players who have 10-day contracts running out that I thought I was going to have in my lineup tonight. I'm just figuring out as I'm talking to you. But yeah, man, I mean, we got to keep an eye on which games still matter. I guess there are still a few. A lot of seeding implications still going on. But like, there's a lot of teams tanking that have completely mailed it in. And then teams like the Celtics who are totally locked into the one seed that are going to slowly kind of stop playing starters. We're kind of seeing that begin tonight as well. So I don't know, tons of nuance here. Going to be a lot of good value, but again, we were talking earlier. It's easy to score like 400 points right now and still barely cash. Your lineup should be crushing. You should like every play in your lineup with how much value we have available.
Yeah, and it's another thing I was saying, like, the ownership today. Jordan Goodwin, didn't we just have Scottie Pippen as highest guy last week? And now we have Jordan Goodwin. Scottie Pippen third. I mean, San Antonio, Memphis night. It's just, it's going to be gross. So we have the largest injury report that we've had all season. So I'm not going to read out everything, but Nick, do you want to highlight the important stuff we should be aware of?
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch. I'll probably miss some if I try to get all of it. But yeah, first and foremost is this Memphis situation. So I built a dummy build, and I had this Mesozinia Pereira guy in a small forward on DK for 4,300. His 10-day contract ended. He's no longer with the team. So the Grizzlies have only 8 players tonight, including Jack White. Don't think he's related to the White Stripes guy. Doesn't look like him at all. But yeah, I mean, I've never heard of some of these players. But when you have a team that's only running 8 guys, it really doesn't matter. We're going to have to get through a lot of pieces here. So that's a huge situation. Then they're playing the Spurs, who are without Sochan. They did get Keldon Johnson back. He's gone again. And then Devin Vassell's out for them as well. So we're going to see Sandro start. Champagne's been playing excellent. Obviously, Wemby is Wemby. So this is a game we're definitely keying in on. Then another major situation in that Boston game, they can kind of hang things up if they want to. I don't know that they do fully because, again, there's a couple weeks left. They don't want to go too cold, but they're resting both Horford and Porzingis tonight. So Luke Cornett looks like a tremendous play here against a big Milwaukee team. I mean, I could just keep going and going. We got Grant Williams probably starting at center for Charlotte again. Raptors are without Quickly again. Looks like Freeman Liberty's getting the nod there. What else? I don't know, man. I'm trying to cover as much as I can in one breath, but yeah, the Wizards are pretty thin right now. No Kuzma. I was loving playing that Vukovic kid. He's out tonight. They're projecting Patrick Baldwin to start at center, which would obviously be interesting. Timberwolves, one of the bigger teams in the league, so that front court's definitely a fluid situation to keep an eye on. Nuggets have Jokic as probable. I guess that game does technically matter for them for seeding. Again, that's only on DK. He's someone we'll be looking to get to a little bit over there. But yeah, man, I mean, every team has some sort of nuance here. The Heat are getting healthier as they usually do this time of year. Sixers have Embiid back, probably playing his normal minutes in a very soft matchup. But yeah, I think that's most of it. Don't quote me on that, but yeah,
Nice,
lots
dude.
lots to get through here.
Yeah, and on top of that, every team has I mean, some teams have 15 like doubtful, questionable, out, probable tags. So just keep an eye out on stuff. We can't do like an if-then scenario for all of them. But when stuff happens after lock, just be in the Discord and we'll try to get through it. But yeah, back to Memphis and San Antonio. Like this is the game that's going to be the mega chalk tonight, and like when I talk about dreading these end of season slates, I'm thinking about like how random stuff like this game is. Like we know that
Mhm.
Goodwin, Sandro, Scottie Pippen, all the guys at the top of the ownership are good plays, right? But we can't play all of them, and I feel like it's kind of random who's going to score 2 more fantasy points than the next guy, right? To be in
Right.
the winning lineup.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, so just be prepared for the variance and mix it up. Don't just all flock to Goodwin, all flock to Sandro, Scottie Pippen. Mix in some of these guys lower on the list too. These are all good plays in this game. So
Yeah. I feel like they're just getting pumped out of like a creative player though, and we joke about this, but the Grizzlies have two guys, Timmy Allen and Jack White, that
Mhm.
are active tonight. I mean, I'm not really familiar with either of these guys. I don't know if you are.
No, and well, on the mall right now, I'm seeing Xavier Simpson for Memphis as well. Haven't heard of any of those guys. And then City Sissoko, I'm pretty sure I have heard of on San Antonio. Looks like we have him projected for 11 minutes tonight. So we're not playing him. We're probably not playing these other guys we haven't heard of. It's just a question of how they affect the rotation. So
Yeah, I will say you mentioned Xavier Simpson with this group. I actually like him. He looked really
nice.
good the other night. Played 30 minutes. Obviously, we're getting to Goodwin and Pippen, but multiple of these guards can be on the floor at the same time, especially when they're running an 8-man rotation. Simpson at 4,100, I think makes a lot of sense. Honestly, we got the question the other night, like, would you play Pippen and Goodwin in the same lineup? And I said yes, and I think it worked out fine. I would even play Simpson in that same lineup if you can. It's just again such a short rotation. Not many of these guys are able to do any ball handling, so I like all the guards here for Memphis, and I would include Simpson with that group. Probably won't get to Timmy Allen, whoever the hell that is, but
He's a
yeah.
Texas basketball legend, Nick.
Okay, man. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really. I don't know. I my memory for college basketball exists for March, and then I try to wipe my brain of it for these major sports. But yeah, man, maybe he's worth looking at. Probably not for me. But the other three guards I'd be fine getting to, especially in lineups where you're paying up for Wemby or getting to Champagne and Mamu, etc. Um, Definitely my favorite game on the slate tonight, I will say, the Spurs and Grizzlies. But the field's right there with me.
Yeah, it's kind of like this is a game to build around just because we have all the, I don't know, easy value, I guess, tonight. And then mixing it up with the studs is seems like the thing to do tonight.
Mhm.
Uh, just in case anyone's listening doesn't see it on the screen, Jayhawk was one with the Timmy Allen Texas basketball legend comment.
Okay,
He said, do not play him in DFS though." So
got it, got it.
Jose Morales, what games have the priorities? I mean, the Memphis San Antonio is certainly number one. What about after that, Nick?
I'm trying to see which games actually matter here. Um,
Not much, right?
we have a lot of games where like it matters for one team and not the other. Like the Bucks Celtics, for example. The Knicks are still playing for seeding against the Bulls. I mean, I don't mind that spot. I'm a little bit surprised the spread is as tight as it is. Um, I don't know. Not crazy about that one, but I'm thinking the Kings and OKC is going to be one we have to keep an eye on. Thunder are in that third seed right now. I guess they're stuck there regardless. So maybe not so much as I'm talking through this, but the Kings still have a lot to play for. I do like Fox. I do like Sabonis here. I think they make a lot of sense. We're getting SGA back tonight for OKC, so maybe we're not as heavy on that side with some of these other guys priced up. But I do really like the Sacramento pieces there. They are underdogs in a game that matters for them, with one of the higher totals on the board. Um, what else? I mean, in terms of like full games, again, it's tough. Like I like some Knicks pieces here, but I don't know, not crazy about the Bulls. Um, but yeah, man, it's very difficult. Like Dallas needs to probably win a couple more games. They're in a really soft matchup here against Charlotte. I guess this is another spot maybe I target. Trying to pull up the spread now. I imagine it's close enough. 13 points with Dallas on the road in Charlotte. Charlotte's actually been playing not good, but half decent. So yeah, obviously we like Luca Grant Williams against his former team. They kind of kicked him off of the Mavericks, so maybe there's some revenge narrative there with him likely starting at center again. That's another game I have an eye on. And then the highest total on the board is this Indiana Toronto game. Interestingly enough, this game does matter for the Pacers a little bit in terms of seeding. Raptors are obviously out of it. No quickly for them tonight, but yeah, I could see getting to some Pacers in a game that matters. But again, it's not the reason we like Memphis San Antonio is because they're kind of on the same page. A lot of these situations are tough because you have one team really playing for something and one that's like, maybe they're playing for something, maybe not. And those situations always get dicey. Introduces blowout risk that might not even be baked into the spread here. So yeah, it's tough.
It's funny. We have an 18.5 point spread. I'm pretty sure that's the highest we've had all season. That's Washington versus Minnesota. And so I have Anthony Gill as one of my highest owned players right now. He's only 3,600 and kind of related to this comment from Power. Memphis is a chalk. They always score less than 100, so it's like no one goes off like they should. I don't necessarily disagree with you there, but they're all priced so cheap that it doesn't really matter. Like the ceilings we need at these prices are just so much less than if they were priced. Like I don't even know what the correct pricing would be for these guys, but I hope that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, GG Jackson's 6,500. Like, you're gonna want over 40 from him, so maybe you don't play him based on what Power is saying. But all these other guys are just so damn cheap. And yeah, like I said, I mean, I like Xavier Simpson off the bench, Pippen Goodwin, both sub 6K. Like, Clark is interesting. He's kind of popular. He hasn't been playing a ton of minutes. He's kind of been banged up. So maybe I avoid that piece. There's enough centers to maybe get away from a Trey Jameson, but I will just say I really do like the backcourt. And if I'm going to get away from any Memphis chart, it's probably the front court guys. Um, but yeah, to your point, it's just they're so cheap. Like GG 65, you do need a lot out of him on a slate like this. But these other guys are so cheap. Like if you're getting 30 to 40 fantasy points, you're probably in pretty good shape.
Honestly, even GG Jackson at 6,500, like he hasn't. I mean, he's gotten 40 a couple times, and recently in this opportunity he's been getting around 30. But I still think GG is a fine play if he's really going to come in at 6%, the rest of his team is going to come in much
Oh,
higher owned.
6%. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Timmy Allen, 28% on FanDuel. No one heard of this guy as of yesterday, but
I'm thinking of home improvement, right?
right? No, literally, exactly. Yeah,
Is it tool
exactly.
time tonight? Is the question.
But back to like the question, it's like if Goodwin, Pippen, Jameson, Brandon Clark, like if you get 30 plus out of any of these guys, like for Pippen and Goodwin, it's not great. But I mean, we're gonna be pretty happy, and anything better than that is just pretty gravy.
Yeah.
And so before we get into the positions, I wanted to ask you: are there any other players not on Memphis or San Antonio that you're very interested in?
I mean, some of the payups are interesting to me. I mean, I don't know. Obviously, if you can get to Luca, there's a ton of value on this slate. He's pretty easy to get up to. I know there were other slates where a lot more of the games mattered, where we weren't trying to play over 12K for him. I think on a night like tonight, the raw points on a massive slate like this could matter. Another guy, Jalen Brunson, I'm probably going to be heavy on here. I'm still kind of baffled by the spread. I thought it would be wider. Maybe it's because New York's traveling into Chicago. I don't know what it is, but only 5 point spread here in a pretty soft matchup against the Bulls. Brunson's been playing out of his mind, really putting this team on his back. He's someone I want to get to pretty aggressively. Um, Otherwise, like I said, the Kings still need to win. I think Fox and Sabonis make some sense. And then Luke Cornett, I have circled for sure. Probably going to get more and more popular as we talk through these things here. But that Boston front court, resting both KP and Horford tonight, he's kind of a no brainer, in my opinion, his value, especially if you're trying to get away from a chalky Trey Jameson.
Nice, I like it. Um, Yeah, I mean, basically, I agree with a lot of those guys there. I would say Wemby is probably the stud I'm
Oh,
most
yeah.
interested in.
Yeah.
I mean, I asked you not on Memphis or San Antonio. He is
Oh,
on
true,
San
true. That's
Antonio.
why I
Just
left it
it
out. Yeah.
feels like a different play though, just because like everyone else is so cheap and he's very expensive. Finally up to 11K, probably the appropriate pricing for him now. I mean, he's 12 on FanDuel, coming in at 30%. So I mean, are you eating the chalk pretty heavy on FanDuel with
Yeah,
Wemby?
honestly, I'm playing pretty light tonight, but yeah, I'm gonna have Wemby in probably most of my builds just because he is so easy to get to. Again, we have so much value everywhere. I don't mind paying up for raw points, and he's been a machine lately. Um, Most of their ball handlers are out. His usage has been through the roof. He played 43 minutes against Philly. Really, no cap on him anymore, so no reason not to love him here.
Uh, I just noticed something that was kind of interesting. The Memphis guys are pulling a lot of ownership over on FanDuel. Timmy Allen, 21%, Xavier Simpson, 29%. And as you said, like Xavier Simpson played 30 minutes, so that's no problem. But Timmy Allen has the lowest OF index I've ever seen, zero point 0.3, DK value, zero point 0.8, FD value, zero point 0.9. Now, this probably isn't accurate if he's actually going to play 30 minutes because this isn't possible. But are you going to eat these cheap, unknown chalk guys?
I'm liking Xavier Simpson, and there's a few other guys, but Timmy Allen is not something I'm focused on. But I will say this: like this Pereira dude for Memphis was a play I wanted to be on tonight, but they didn't re-sign him to another 10-day contract. So I don't know if the date is accounting for that, but there's a huge void now there in terms of both minutes and usage because Pereira was actually pretty involved when he was on the floor. Um, so yeah, again, it's just a weird situation with Memphis. You're limited to four Grizzlies on FanDuel. You can only play four. Like Pippen, Goodwin, Simpson. I don't know if they have shooting guard eligibility, but those are my first three I'm getting to, and then it would probably be GG, maybe Clark after that. I'm really not interested in the rest just because I'm pretty heavy on the other pieces of chalk there. But yeah, I'm guessing though the reason he's popular is because there's probably ways that people are fitting like Giannis and Luca and Wemby. Like if you go true stars and scrubs, some of
Yeah.
these 3,500 guys are going to be interesting. And even if they only get you say 15, 20 fantasy points, if you play two or three guys in your lineup that are getting 80, then there is some merit to maybe going there. Me personally, it's not really my style. I don't want to get that. Uh, I don't know, concentrated in terms of where my salary is going, but I don't know, man. To in so few words, I'm not playing Timmy Allen tonight, and maybe that kills me. And if it does, I'll live with it.
Yeah, I'm only playing on DraftKings tonight, but I don't think I'm getting to any Timmy Allen or Xavier Simpson. And if I did, like you said, like if I got 20 points out of Timmy Allen on FanDuel at 3,500, I would be ecstatic. That would feel like such a big win. So just keep that in mind when you guys are picking these guys. I actually might get to Xavier Simpson on
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I
DraftKings.
actually like him. I mean, he shot
Yeah,
three for
Xavier Simpson I'm
four,
getting to.
2 steals, 2 blocks. I mean, he was heavily involved on defense. His shots were falling. I don't know. Some of these guys, this is their only chance to get on the floor in an NBA game.
Yeah.
Some of them will kind of let the opportunity pass them by. Some guys really just do everything they can to make the most of it. And it seems like Xavier Simpson's one of these kids. So I don't know. I have interest in him at the price. I don't mind him.
Maybe it doesn't matter that much, but so that question about Goodwin and Pippen in the same lineup being okay, do you want to set a rule max two of these guys, Goodwin, Pippen, and Xavier Simpson?
Honestly, no.
Nice, nice.
I
Okay.
just liked them all, and if there was better like guard value elsewhere, I'd probably maybe set that rule. But like the value tonight's in the front court in these other games, we're really not seeing a ton of great guard value plays. So I think if you're paying down in the backcourt, you're going to be landing on Grizzlies. So I don't want to really limit myself.
And we have a couple questions about Harrow in the chat. I saw one Harrow or Ubre, and then now OS Harrow with no Rozier. Um, Let me see what kind of minutes he's been playing. You have anything on this?
Yeah, he played 31 last game.
Hmm.
I'm expecting he could see decent run here. Obviously, Atlanta, not a great defensive team, especially in the backcourt. He's fine at his price. I mean, I don't know. I think he could get up to 34 here. I do think they want to ramp him up for the playoffs, but he's still sharing usage with Butler and Bam, so it's not like he's some super smash player or anything like that. Um, I don't mind him, but yeah, I mean he's kind of priced where he should be, honestly. And I'm a little bit surprised the total's not higher here for Atlanta and Miami. I know Miami plays slow, but 219.5, that's definitely below average on this slate. So I like him, but I don't think Rozier being out is enough for me to consider Hero a core play necessarily, as he's still kind of ramping up from that injury.
Dude, Atlanta's totals just stay low. I feel like I talk about this every other day. We should have started keeping
It's
track
Trey.
to see if it was going over every day. Yeah, Trey being out too. Yeah, it's kind of a big deal, I guess.
Yeah, I mean the defense gets better and they play slower, so it's kind of like a
Mhm.
double whammy in that way. But yeah, it took a little while. There was probably like a window when he was first ruled out where you could bet a bunch of unders and make money, but it seems like Vegas is properly adjusted now, which is tough.
Nice.
But
As for Ubre versus Harrow, Harrow edges out Ubre just barely in the model, and they're both super low ownership, and so I don't know. This is probably just coin flip territory. They're both fine plays.
yeah, I do lean Hero. Again, some of those big Ubre games came with either Maxi or Embiid out. I know he had 46 last game, but that was without Embiid. He had a really good game before that, but Maxi only played like 20 minutes. I think he got hurt or something. So if you're looking at game logs, like the logic is, oh yeah, just go Ubre. But you got to dig a little deeper and realize that most of those performances came with significant pieces out. So as Hero's been its climb, I agree. I think it's close, but I would prefer Hero.
Nice. Can't disagree with you there. And so with Philadelphia, we do have Tyrese Maxey questionable, Joel Embiid questionable, Tobias Harris question, Kyle Lowry, and D'Anthony Melton all questionable. Can't do an if then for all of them. So hopefully we get the news before the stream ends. If not, you guys know who to get to though when certain guys are ruled out. Just if a guy's starting, obviously they're better.
Yeah, we did get word that Harris is in.
He's in for sure now. Okay.
Yeah, I think Embiid is in too, but the rest we're
Oh, did
still
we
waiting.
just get that?
Or no, no, no. It says Embiid, Maxi, Harris, Lowry, game time decisions. Then we got word that Harris is in. So I guess we're waiting on the other three. I don't know why the injury reporting. So
We just got Maxi ruled out right now, like one
okay,
second
I
ago.
got to
So
refresh.
yeah, so
Now
we'll.
it's Ubre.
I was gonna say Ubre and Campaign is not hurt, right? What's
Yeah, but he's
Campaign?
priced up still, right?
He's not even in the model with those guys, and we didn't even have projected for minutes. So
Yeah, with Lowry out too, he's going to become interesting. I still think
yeah,
I'd rather get to the Memphis guys. But yeah, it does make me like Oubre a lot more. He's been playing really well.
nice. So would you take Oubre over Harrow or just a coin flip?
I would take Oubre now with
All right,
Maxi out.
let's go. Let's
Yeah.
go. Let's dive into positions now. We're not gonna be able to talk about everyone, even the guys that we like, because there's just everyone in the NBA plays tonight. So if you guys have any questions about specific teams, you want us to go in depth a little bit more, just throw it in the chat, and we'll see what we can do. For FanDuel, Devonte Graham. It's funny, man. We mentioned Devonte Graham on stream before he started like really being in the rotation, and now he's playing 35 minutes in the previous game. Are we looking at? I mean, we talked about San Antonio a bunch. We didn't mention Devonte. Are we looking at him at all?
It's not crazy. I mean, I'd rather get up to Trey Jones or play one of the Memphis guys. I mean, if you're not trying to play Pippen or Goodwin chalk, I really like Xavier Simpson as the pivot. Um, but yeah, I mean, Devontae Graham's essentially the same price. So I wouldn't say don't play Graham. I just say he kind of ranks lower than some of the other value guards for me. And I still really do like Trey Jones and thinks he gets plenty of minutes. Like he played 40 plus last game. He's still heavily involved here. So yeah, Graham's okay, but I don't trust him as much as Memphis. Just knowing that the Spurs have a lot more guys on that bench than Memphis does. But yeah, as a last piece in, he's okay.
Kind of feels like Patty Mills a little bit, right? Like
Mm.
Patty Mills didn't have guys behind him that could take his playing time necessarily, but just older, not maybe not older, but veteran coming in, hoping he just takes 12 threes, takes 9 threes and hits. But I think he's fine to mix in. The other guys are obviously a priority. Let's take a look. Just top of value. I mean, Xavier Simpson, guy that no one's ever heard of until this morning, is the top of value in the Occupy model. So
Nice.
that'll be a fun one. Scottie
I love
Pippen, Champagne, Christian Brown, Gary Harris, a couple guys not on Memphis or San Antonio. I was looking at Christian Brown. He's been pretty good recently. Wasn't looking at Gary Harris, but what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, he's been starting, or at least we were projecting him to start tonight. I don't mind him. It hasn't really spiked a huge ceiling, but for his price, pretty safe floor. I think getting you 20 to 30 fantasy points, so I don't mind it at all. We did just get word or Aaron Gordon's still out. I think someone was asking about Peyton Watson. I will say I prefer going to Brown. I know Watson's coming off a huge game, but those two are kind of similar. Like if you're playing a bunch of lineups, it's fine to mix in. But if you're only playing a lineup or two, like these are too thin in terms of value, in my opinion, knowing we have much safer options like with Cornette and the Memphis guards, etc. But if you're looking for pivots, you're playing a bunch of lineups trying to flatten out exposures, that's someone you could mix in, but not a priority for me right now.
Nice. I mean, just some other guys scrolling down. I was going to mention that Indiana Toronto game is pulling super low ownership for having what the highest total of the night. I mean, it's a 12.5 point spread, but I think Siakam was the only guy pulling more than 10%. We got Naismith showing up near the top of value. I mean, Halliburton is kind of up there too for being one of the studs, one of the only studs up here. The first stud on value, actually, Tyrese Halliburton. So it's kind of interesting.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, actually, let's look at the top studs. I mean, Luca Shea, Tyrese Halliburton, Ant Edwards, De'Aaron Fox, Brunson, DeJounte, Kyrie. Who are we looking at? I know you mentioned Brunson already. Luca's Luca, but anyone else you want to give any notes about?
Yeah, I like Fox. Like I said, I think the Kings are still got a lot to play for. I will say proceed with caution on SGA. Probably just don't play him because the Thunder are locked into that 3 seed. They can't move. Which seems weird. It says clinch playoff position where I'm looking right now, but they're only 1 game back of the Nuggets, so I don't know if that's accurate. But coming back from the injury, I'd probably leave SGA out of that group. I do like Brunson, as I said. I like Fox a lot. If you're not getting up to Luca, I mean Kyrie, pretty good pivot, but it's not like Luca's super over-owned or anything tonight, so there's not a ton of leverage there. But I'd be fine mixing him in, and then yeah, Cade Cunningham, is he still sub 9K? I don't mind him
Yep.
whenever he's that price because we've seen him spike that ceiling from time to time. This matchup with Philly's getting better as more guys are ruled out, so I don't hate it. But yeah, if anything here, it's Brunson, Luca, and Fox.
I was going to mention Cunningham as a guy that stood out to me. 1% ownership now. It's like could get ruled out after lock, and you could be screwed. And
Right,
he's only
right.
going to be 1% owned, but like 1% owned, 8,400. His OF index, DK value, both great. Cade Cunningham, I don't know. I kind of like him as a 1% play. I'm not going insane on him or anything, but just want to point him out.
Yeah, I don't mind it. He has been banged up, so there's some concern maybe that he would be limited, like you said, but otherwise, no problem.
Healed is the best play tonight from the first game. It's an interesting call.
I disagree. Um,
Oh,
yeah, I don't know. It's like he's had so many opportunities with all these guys ruled out. He's only gone over 30 minutes once, I think, in the past 2 weeks. He's only gone over 20 DK points, like 3 out of 10 of those games. So, like, I don't know. You need raw points from all your value tonight. He really, really has to eat here. He has to outscore those Memphis guards. He has to outscore some of this other jockey value for him to be worth it. So for me personally, I probably wouldn't do it. But if you're a big Buddy Hield fan, I don't know. Roll the dice. If there's enough guys out here, it's just not something I'd be excited to play.
I was hyping up, but he healed so hard when he got to Philadelphia. I think he dropped like 240 fantasy
He had a
point
good
games in a
week.
row,
Yeah,
dude.
he had a
And
good
then
week there.
I was so high. I love him as a player. Wish he was on the Lakers, but for tonight's slate, I think there's just too many other options at the price that have a better chance of giving us the score that we want.
Yeah, yeah. He's taking like 5 to 7 threes per game
He's got to
and
take
not even
12.
making like half of them. Yeah, you want guys to be taking more
He's got to be
shots than that.
making 5 to 7 threes a
Right,
game in
exactly.
my
Like I wish
DFS
he was
lineup.
taking double that, and then I'd feel a little bit better. But
Markel, if he starts, or is Paolo the play? Well, I don't think Markel has ever been the play this year. He's been so bad. His minutes have been. It's like even that game he started where we were debating about him. I think he only played one rotation in the first half, and then maybe he got his regular rotation in the second half. But there's just no minutes there. We haven't projected for 23. I don't know. Are you getting defaults tonight?
no, like I said, I'm infatuated by these Memphis guards, and I know Fultz is actually coming off a couple of games, but this is another low total spot. They're pretty healthy right now. Looking at the standings, I mean, Orlando could play up. I don't know. They're holding on to the 3 seed right now. Like they definitely still have some basketball that matters left to be played, but I don't know. It's just tough to get excited about a player at those minutes. I know looking at the game logs, he seems like a pretty appealing option at his price, but I trust the Memphis guys more for sure. So yeah, if you're playing 150 and you want to lower the ownership of some of that chalk, I get it. But if you're only playing a lineup or two, I probably wouldn't touch him.
Yeah. I mean, I was actually surprised. I didn't realize he's been getting that many minutes in the last couple of games. But again, just the other options I think are too strong, and his OF index is in the toilet.
Yeah,
And then Paolo we'll take a look at when we get to the forward. Same with PJ Washington, Unicorn.
yeah, I don't mind Paolo, but not a priority. But yeah, he's fine.
Jordan Poole today, no coups. I think I don't mind Jordan Poole. He showed up with a pretty decent value score, right? Oh, maybe not.
Yeah, I mean he has been lately. I mean he's been scoring the ball a
Yeah.
ton with Kuzma out of the lineup. It's just again this spread here is massive. It's a terrible matchup, but if they were to keep this game close, it's likely on the back of Jordan Poole. I don't mind him as a tournament play. You're hoping for that ceiling, um, but again, there's some of the best value tonight's at guard, and some of the better payups are also at guard. So I don't find myself in that mid range a ton. But yeah, Poole, he's okay. I just don't love the matchup really.
I will say he's paid off his price tag 5 games in a row, like with a score worthy of winning a tournament 5 games in a row. I mean,
That's
last
big.
five doesn't matter as much, but it just he's in the groove. Earlier this season, he was awful. Some people said he should not be in the NBA anymore, which
That
is
was crazy.
ridiculous. But shout out to Kevin Garnett.
Oh my god.
39% for 7,300 Jordan Poole. Like, I agree the price is good. Like I just said, he's been great, but this is the toughest matchup in the NBA. And he's playing by himself out there. So, I mean, 39% on FanDuel. The model is saying we can kind of fade him a bit. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, at that ownership, I'd be comfortable kind of getting away from it. I know he's had some big games lately, but we're talking about Toronto and Portland, two of the worst defenses. Then the Lakers and Milwaukee, who are pretty good defensively in the front court, but I know guards against Milwaukee is a thing we've been targeting. So most of his big games have come in favorable spots, and you really can't call this a favorable spot.
No. Um, a lot of these center questions I will get to. I'm trying not to forget. Is Johnny Juzang? Juzang's been getting 30 minutes. Is he on the Utah Jazz?
Yeah, and maybe this, I don't know if Jason, you're the same one who asked the other night. We were just signing off stream, and someone was like Juzang, and I was like, we have better value. I don't think I would do it. And then he went
Very
off,
fine.
and those are the plays that stick with me. The ones that I say on stream don't play, and like I
Yep.
pay attention to them more than the guys in my own lineups. But yeah, he played 33 minutes, 35 DK points, made 7 threes, and just crapped in my face all night. So yeah, I will say if you want to play some Juzang tonight, he has forward eligibility, one of the thinner positions for value. Again, we like some of the guard and the center value. I don't mind him tonight. Again, that's DK only. That game isn't on the FanDuel slate, but there are crazier plays. And yeah, I tend to remember these guys that burn me, at least on these streams where I say, oh, yeah, I don't think he's good value. Like, it's too cute. And then they go off. Yeah, Juzang's been ringing in my ears the past day or so, so I don't mind it.
I'm the same way, dude. If I say,
Yeah.
if I say this guy's a good play and it doesn't work out, that's fine. It can
Yeah, I don't
happen.
mind that as much. Yeah.
But if I say I don't like that, or I would not be playing this guy at all, or I'm playing 0%, and they end up having a good game, dude, that bothers me. But like Johnny Juzang, it's like the process was still correct. He probably wasn't a great play. He shot 7 for 8 from three. Like
Yeah.
it's the best game of his life. Like, it's really hard to do.
Yeah, but the price didn't move. So like even if he doesn't make 3 of those 7 shots tonight, like it's still a decent
Yeah.
spot. And again, if this game were to blow out, he's still going to get his minutes in the fourth quarter. So I don't know. He checks enough boxes for me here at his price that I'm fine with it. And again, it's lineup construction too. Like there's guard value I trust tonight. There's center value I trust tonight. Forward's a little bit tougher to come by, so I don't mind going there just for lineup construction reasons. But I don't know. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't be so fickle, but last night I talked down on him, watched him go off, and now I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll sprinkle him in a little bit.
Well, Jason Jordan still played him, so
Good.
don't
I'm
have to worry
glad,
about
dude.
that.
Good,
Right?
dude.
That's the relief.
Well,
Like
that's
I
what
didn't listen
hurts,
to
man.
you.
Like, I don't want to take money out of someone's pockets. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, we try to give the best info we can here. And I mean, he was way down my list for value on that slate, but yeah, blew up in my face. So yeah, go Johnny Juzang.
Best shooting guard on the slate. Thanks, guys. Um, I mean, so we've mentioned most of the shooting guards that I'm getting most of in my exposure. So I think like maybe Champagne on the Spurs is one guy we haven't mentioned as much, but
He looked
uh,
awesome. Yeah, I mean, on DK, he's guard eligible. On FanDuel, he's not. On DK, he's chalk at shooting guard. But yeah, shooting guard compared to point guard is actually really thin tonight. I like
mhm.
him a lot there. Um, Otherwise, it does get tough. You brought up Christian Braun earlier. I think it's fine as like a floor play. Not a
Yeah.
ton of upside.
Well, I
Man,
think that's why I'm getting so much Brown because I'm just looking through. I want to play every point guard tonight, but shooting guards, it just like a couple guys I guess have point guard, shooting guard eligibility, but none of the chalk guys that we really want to play do.
yeah, I will say Oubre on DK now at 6,600
Mm.
actually is
Mm-hmm.
kind of skyrocketing on my board.
It's a good
Still
one.
like Hero, but these are two guys we brought up earlier. But again, it's just position scarcity tonight definitely exists at shooting guard. So these are two plays I'd be looking to get to. I wish some of these like Memphis guys had dual eligibility. They don't. Um, so yeah, I mean a lot of Oubre. Um, really do like what's his name over on DK Champagne. Wish he had guard eligibility on FanDuel. He doesn't. Um, but yeah, I mean, maybe some Gary Trent too with quickly out. I don't think it's insane to go there in a high total matchup. Just pulling up his game logs though. The price feels hefty, but yeah, he's been playing really well. So Gary Trent I'd throw into that group too.
Yeah, I mean, just going off the model, I mean, top shooting guard plays: Ant Edwards, Kyrie, Jalen Green. Then after that, like Derek White, Jalen Brown, Tyler Harrow. I mean, these guys are not pulling any ownership. And then we sort by value, and it's Champagne, Brown, Gary Harris, Malachi Branham, Naismith, KCP. Like this is definitely the toughest position to fill today. So
Yeah.
like all these questions about like Tyler Harrow, Kelly Oubre. I mean, just follow your heart, man. This is a tough one.
Yeah, those guys both look really good again, just because the position scarcity. Kerry Harris, man, I hate that he's popping in the model. He either goes for like 30 or zero. That's something I'd be excited to get to, which kind of explains the Jordan Poole ownership the more you think about it.
Yeah.
Even if he gets like 30, 40 fantasy points, he could end up as the top scorer at that position. So, um, yeah, not as bearish on him as maybe I was 5 minutes ago before we really focused in on just shooting guard.
So the model just crunched for the Philly news. I don't know if it's still adjusting Kelly Oubre's minutes projected for 35 right now, but he's the new top of value. I don't know
Nice.
if this is true though. He's obviously a great play. Just I don't know if he's top of value great. Refresh in a few minutes and see if he's still there. But I saw Brown, Champagne, or Payne. I mean, Champagne and Brown are top of model value, and Payne is Payne. Did I just see his name? And Payne is not, so I would go with one of the first two guys.
Mhm.
Yeah, Payne might not be in the model yet. Oh, he is. Payne is top of the model value. Sorry, I didn't have a point guard selected. So the new top of model value is Payne if his 29 predicted minutes are real.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to make some adjustments. It's gonna be interesting. Kobe White, Caruso in, AO out, and then I'm just gonna run through these questions since we're lagging a little bit getting to the different positions. Thoughts on Tillman as a pivot? I wasn't really considering him today, and I know that Boston's missing a couple guys. Maybe he gets a little more run in the fourth quarter, but I think it's a little bit too thin. I mean, you're just kind of hoping he gets the blowout run to get there, right?
Yeah, I mean he's been playing about 20 minutes per game since they clinched that one seed, so it's not insane. And the Bucks are a very big team, so he may be ahead in the rotation of guys like Brissett and Speed tonight. But yeah, I mean I can't really expect more than 20-25 fantasy points from him, and you might need that from every position on a 10-game slate like this with a ton of value. So it's not insane, but I'd much rather go to Cornette, and he's only 100 more, and I'd much rather, I don't know, just maybe get away from that whole situation with Boston if I'm not playing Cornette.
Yeah, I think I agree. Cornet. I don't even know if I'm going to get to Cornet much, but that's basically the only player over here that I'm getting to. It blows my mind. It's only a 3.5 point spread against. Wait, they're 3.5 point dogs against the Bucks.
Yeah, well, there's this whole conspiracy, and I've been talking about it with Eric. I don't know if it's true, but the Bucks want to fall out of the 2 seed so they don't have to play the Sixers in the first round or something. Or I don't know. Yeah,
I love it. I love
yeah,
it.
so like it sounds like, and if you watch the way they've been playing lately, like it seems like they're kind of selling games in the fourth quarter, and everyone's like on Doc for coaching terribly. But I don't know, is he like mega minding it and try to get the Pacers the first round instead of the Sixers because that's obviously a much easier matchup. Um, I don't know, man. I try not to dig too deep into these things or I'll go insane. But I'm wondering if Vegas is starting to maybe think this way as well. But yeah,
It's
it's a weird
wild.
situation there in
Yeah.
Milwaukee.
PJ Washington, 6,900 versus Charlotte. The good old revenge game. PJ Washington is so much happier in Dallas than he was in Washington.
Yeah,
Or
the thank
in
you for
Charlotte, I mean.
sending me game. Yeah, the
Yeah.
thank you for trading me game. Um, I mean, he's fine at his price. Could hit value. He's actually been shooting the ball well. Very streaky shooter. It is a soft matchup. I don't think it's crazy, but you have Grant Williams there for a little bit cheaper. If Williams is starting at center, I'd rather play him there. He might be the guy in that game that actually has some vengeance in his heart because, yeah, apparently Dallas like didn't enjoy his company,
Good
so
call.
they traded
Good
him
call.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
was annoying.
They said he'd like lock down on Luca in practice when they were just like casually like warming up and stuff, and like
And Luca dropped 100 or
yeah,
14
yeah,
straight on
yeah.
him or
There's been
something.
some urban legends to come out of Dallas
That's
lately,
fun.
but yeah, I don't mind Washington, but for a little bit cheaper, you can just go to Grant.
I mean, I didn't want to play him when he was like 5,400 last week, so I'm not going to play him at 69. But I did make a comment like I don't see the ceiling next to Luca, and then the next game he went off. He went off twice in a row, so I guess the ceiling is there. But this price on FanDuel
Yeah, I don't love the
blows
price.
my mind.
Yeah, price is bad.
Market, we got that one already. Metu, Chimezi Metu. I saw the douche hyping him up in our Discord the other day.
Well, the douche is the captain of the Chimeze Metu fan club. He's coming off some huge games. Um, if he starts at the 4, which he's projected to, I would be fine mixing him in, honestly. I don't know. Pretty good fantasy point per minute player when he is given the opportunities. No Isaiah Stewart there. Still no Fontecchio, so they're thin on the wing. Like I said, the minutes are tough to trust, especially with Mo Williams kind of, I don't know, picking minutes out of a hat, it seems at times. But if he's starting, yeah, I would be comfortable going there as
Mo
a value play.
Williams? What's his name? Detroit's coach? Monty Williams. Monty
Monte
Williams.
Williams, yeah. Long day,
No,
man.
I was
No.
thinking like Mo Williams.
That was the Cavs point guard, I think, when LeBron was
Right.
drafted. Yeah.
Metu shot 9 for 9. I mean, he played
Yeah,
43 minutes.
you
We
don't
cared
need
more
him to
about
do all
that.
that to hit value,
Yeah.
though. Yeah.
Yeah. 4,900. It's tough sounding, but if you mix him in, it seems okay. Uh, Jordan Poole, Reed and Gobert tonight. Reed's been great in less minutes, and so like this is a game we are worrying about blowout definitely. But I mean, Nas Reed, we only have him projected for 30. I mean, I guess 32 and a half is a little more than I thought, but I don't know. I think he's fine. I'm a little bit nervous to get to anyone else on Minnesota because of the blowout, but Nas Reed, I think, would be a player I don't hate.
Yeah, I'm fine with either. Um, Timberwolves are tied with the Nuggets right now for the one seed, but again, this matchup's so soft they should be able to just run it up here. But yeah, I love Nas Reed. I've always been a fan of his. I'm fine getting to him. I think he's safer in the blowout than Gobert would be. Wouldn't want both in the same lineup probably. I know they've both gotten there before, but probably go one or the other if you do go that way. And I would lean Nas Reed for a little bit cheaper, probably safer if the game were to blow out.
Luke Cornett without Porzingis or Horford. Yeah, I think we're both into him. I mean, Luke Cornett, absolutely insane DK value now. I think he is number one. Yeah, Luke Cornett campaign 1 and 2. So I think these two are probably gonna end up being pretty heavy in my exposures now.
Yeah, I like Cornette. I mean, Jameson's another cheap center. They're both a little risky, but I don't know. I like both. Cornette's spiked pretty high upside at times, and they're going to need him on the floor here, even though this game doesn't matter. Like you can't play small against the Bucks.
Sabat's 10.6K or Fox 9.8K. It's a great nickname for
I like it.
Sabonis. I like it. I'm gonna say Sabonis just because I think we have all the value at point guard, and I can't have enough point guard spots tonight, and so I'm probably not paying up that much. Do you have a different answer?
No, I mean, yeah, I think you got it right. It's just kind of lineup construction. I went on this little rant about how I thought Fox was the hot hand over Sabonis, and then they kind of switched last game and Sabonis went off. I don't think you can go wrong either way, but we definitely trust the value at guard more. So I'd probably prefer to get to Sabonis.
I will say I'm over the field on both, but I'm more over the field on Sabonis. That's on DraftKings, a little bit different, but
Yeah, I like
just
them
gives you an
both
idea.
here. Yeah, they're both good plays.
Ingles as a value punt, I'm just probably gonna say probably not. Just too many plays on the slate today to hope for Ingles to go off, even though he's
Yeah,
3,100.
yeah. If I was drafting a team to get a beer with, he'd be on top of the list. But as far as
Nice.
DFS goes tonight, I'm good on Joe Ingles. I don't need him here.
Cornette or Jameson price don't matter. Well, Cornette's top model. Nick added in Jameson is a good pivot, so Cornette's the priority. Jameson's the pivot, I guess, but Cornette top model, hard to argue with
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it's tough. I think Cornette has the much higher ceiling, but knowing Memphis has nobody, maybe Jameson has the higher floor. But in a vacuum, it's Cornette.
Tatum pivot off Saboner on FanDuel. What was his owner? As long as his ownership was low, I don't mind playing him. Jason Tatum 1 and 2%. I mean, it's a seemingly tough matchup, but like if I was gonna play Tatum, today is the day I would play him when no one else is. I hate playing him when he's chalk, and it's a close game against a good team. Like, yeah, Boston might be stepping off the gas, but I mean, they still can't come off too much,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean, we've seen him go insane in just like a half before. So, like, you know, the upside's there. When the ownership's that low, it's maybe worth taking a stab on. I will say I am concerned about the minutes. It's not like they're just going to pull him off the floor in a competitive game, but what they do is they kind of shorten his regular rotation. So he's playing like 32 instead of 38. But yeah, I mean, at that low of ownership, knowing what he's capable of, I don't mind it.
And then Sabonis or Embiid if we had to pick one. I doubt that I get to much of either, but Joel
Sabonis.
Embiid. Yeah, Joel Embiid's okay in the index, and then Sabonis. He's a little bit lower, but yeah, I'd probably go with Sabonis as well.
Yeah, I don't know that they're still limiting Embiid's minutes. Obviously, he's working his way back from an injury. He got up to 32 against Miami. I don't know. I think he's probably capped around 32. Both these teams need to play ball here, but yeah, I prefer Sabonis. He's just safer by a lot.
And then is Trey Jameson good for high dollar? This he's fine. I'm getting a bunch of him at the center spot. I don't
Yeah,
have anything else.
yeah. Again, I mean, they did get Brandon Clark back. Gigi's played the five at times, but against the Spurs tonight with Wemby and Mamu there, I think they're going to have to play big. And again, it's an 8-man rotation. They don't really have a choice. The minutes are there for him. I like it. He's fine.
Cade Cunningham just got ruled out. Now Malachi Flynn,
Mr.
4.2
50.
OF index. Yeah, he put up, dude, it's hilarious. He put up 3 points a game after he dropped 50, went 0
Two
for
in a
12,
row, I
but
think he put up duds. Yeah.
it's hilarious. I feel like they're already priced up for Cade Cunningham to be out, so I'm not interested in really anything here.
Yeah, all those Memphis guards are more appealing than
Yeah,
he is to me. I mean, if anything, maybe get to some Jaden Ivey. We've seen his ceiling climb when Cade's off the floor. This probably also secures Metu in the starting lineup. Just wanted to mention that, but yeah, I'd rather get
yeah,
to Ivy than I would one of these cheap guards for Detroit.
yeah. Just scrolling through, the only exposure I have to Detroit is I got a bit of a Chimezi Metu, less than 10%. So just a sprinkle.
Nice.
Best two centers. Yeah, let's take a look at centers real quick. Do you have a quick answer for that one?
Um, I mean, I like Jokic on DK. Some blowout risk there. Obviously, tremendous ceiling. Wemby on both sides looks awesome. In terms of value, it's Cornette and then Jameson, I guess. But yeah, there's not a ton I like in the mid range tonight. I'm either paying all the way up, stuck in the middle, and if you want to call Grant Williams a center against Dallas, he is someone I'm probably going to be over the field on.
Yeah, I'm playing a lot of Wemby. I'm getting up to I'm over the field on Sabonis, over on Jokic, and then the rest is like a bunch of Luke Cornett, a bunch of Grant Williams. Like these two guys are showing up, Anthony Gill and Sandro Mamukilishvili, and I don't know what to do with them.
I like Sandro because he's actually half decent fantasy point per minute.
Yeah,
With Keldon out this game, he probably gets a little more run than he did last time out. Gill, dude,
I don't know what to do with it.
I'm like
Like,
anti Anthony Gill, and like as I'm saying this, I feel the Johnny Juzang vibes like coming on. Um,
man,
I don't like Anthony Gill. I'd rather play Patrick Baldwin there. I know he doesn't have center eligibility, but I'm thinking they both start.
I get to
But
Baldwin.
yeah, it's a terrible matchup for that front court.
I'm getting to a bunch of Baldwin too at the power forward spot.
Nice.
Just trying to see like any other centers. I don't know if I said Jameson and Brandon Clark. I'm getting a bit of, and then no one else over 10% other than the guys I listed. So
Yeah, I mean, Yurt 7 logically makes some sense with Collins and Kessler out. We kind of got away from him last time as chalk, and it worked out. I'm not really eager to get back there, even though the field's kind of come off him now. Um,
he's got
I
to
mean,
guard Jokic.
yeah, not ideal. I don't know. It's tough tonight. I think you either pay down or you pay up.
Hmm.
The mid range is just kind of gross. Kelly Olynyk is someone I'll bring up with quickly out. We've seen his usage go up. I mean, he spiked his ceiling over 50 fantasy points at times, which alone makes me kind of interested in him as a tournament play. Nice matchup here too. Highest game total on the slate, 240 points against Indiana. I'll add Olynyk to that group, but again, it's either pay down or pay up. I think for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, starting model by value, Cornet, Mamukilishvili, Anthony Gill on DraftKings. It's kind of gross. And Cornet is well ahead of the other
Yeah.
guys, so he's going to be the priority here. But I mean, after that, a couple interesting names that are not pulling much ownership: Nurkic, Wendell Carter. I see Miles Turner shout in the chat. I mean, Gafford. What's up with Gafford, man? He's playing against Charlotte. Why is he 1% owned? He was like 50% owned against a much tougher matchup the other day.
Yeah, I mean it's boom or bust. He has the ceiling, but Charlotte's going to play small. Like if Grant Williams is your center, you don't need to have Gafford on the floor. We're going to see a lot of Kleber and Powell here, and those guys. I think so. The minutes are volatile. It is a great
Yeah.
matchup, but the floor is low just because he could get run off the floor.
Yeah. All right. You just talked. I was about to do something crazy with
Go
Gafford,
heavy
but
on Gafford, but
you
yeah, they can
talked
play
me off of
small. Be
it.
careful.
No, I might get 10% if that. No.
Yeah, you go over, but
Um, and then just really quickly, let's top forwards overall.
um, let's see here. Sorry, my stuff's moving slow right now.
You're good.
I mean, Oubre looks
Yeah.
good now. Definitely like him. Um, Champagne on both sides, I like a lot. I mentioned Baldwin as kind of a GPP play, kind of risky, but
I mean, all
yeah,
these
man.
guys near the top of value. Patrick Baldwin's like number 7. Dylan Brooks. All the other guys we already mentioned.
Yeah, like if I'm paying up, I mean, I do like getting to. I don't have the main slate selected. Yeah, Ubre is really popping now. 11.50 if index
Yeah.
for him looks really, really good. So I'll kind of emphasize that point. I mean, the Bucks need to win. No one's playing Giannis. If he's in, I think he's fine. 2%, 4% on both sites. I mean, as a tournament play, maybe get 5 to 10% of him and feel pretty good about it. But
I
yeah,
was
I
going to
mean,
ask you, did you see that note last time that Giannis was going to be on a minutes limit for the rest of the season, and then he just kind of, I don't think he was in the previous
yeah,
game,
yeah.
played his regular
Giannis,
minutes.
I think Giannis was like, Doc, you can try to coach me, but I'm the reason you're coaching. So
Like, I'm the coach, dude.
yeah, he played 38, so I think that's just noise. I think Doc
So
wants to limit
annoying.
him. Um, Giannis is like, no. But again, if you believe this conspiracy that they're trying to fall to the 3 seed and let the Magic pass them, so the Magic have to play the Sixers, then maybe there's some merit to that. But yeah, at 2%, again, it's just like the Tatum thing. Like, there's reasons not to play these guys, but whenever you can get like 60 plus fantasy point upside sub 5%, it makes sense because if the chalkier payups don't hit and those guys do, or they just outperform them, then you're in really good shape. So I like some Giannis here. But yeah, Champagne's probably my favorite forward on the slate, along with Kelly Oubre, which feels disgusting, but they've just been playing really well.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. We're gonna try to breeze through. We're going a couple minutes over. I'm just gonna mention like my top forward plays. Not necessarily in order. Like they're all within a couple percent, so don't pay attention to that. But Gigi Jackson, Julian Champagny, Patrick Baldwin, Pascal, Ant Edwards, Anthony Gill, and Mamukelashvili. And then basically a bunch of guys below 10%. You have anyone else? And Kelly Oubre. You wanna add anyone else to that group?
No, I think that's solid. I was going to say maybe Siakam. He looks okay here. But yeah, no, we're running low on time.
Yeah. I mean, do we want to try to build a quick dummy real quick? Do we have time?
Real quick, let's do it.
Yeah, let's throw. Should we just put top of value in there? Let's go with Luke Cornett, campaign, Kelly Oubre to start.
I'm not as enamored by campaign, but yeah, that makes sense.
We have enough point guards. We can leave campaign out. Actually, go to one of the Memphis guys. But Kelly Oubre and Luke Cornett sounds like they're probably pretty close to
Yeah,
locks.
Oubre, Cornet. I would go Pippen.
Cornett, 3,300. Cornett is 3,300. It's dumb. Let's do Scottie Pippen. Did you want to do Goodwin too?
Yeah, do Goodwin, and then we could do Champagne.
Goodwin, Scottie Pippen, Champagne. Nice. He is small forward
Yeah, he's
eligible.
guard and forward, which is awesome.
Pippen. We'll do small forward Champagne. This is the all occupy lineup today.
Oh wait, I didn't realize Payne was 3,900 on DK. He's 51 on FanDuel.
All right.
Um,
Let's throw Payne in
you
there.
could throw Payne in there too, and then whatever pay ups are left. I mean, like I said, I think the safest pay up tonight is Luca. I will say that. Then Wemby, in that order. Those are my two favorites.
Oh man, we
After
can't
that,
even we can't even fit Wemby. We gotta take one
eesh.
of the guards out. Let's take you wanna keep Pippen or Goodwin?
Keep Pippen.
Alright, let's take Goodwin out. We're gonna put campaign here. So Luca or Wemby for our pay up?
Ugh. I lean Wemby.
Yeah, I think so too.
Almost 2K cheaper.
Campaign.
Yeah.
Wemby center only, man. Can't believe they took away his
It's annoying. Yeah. He does it all.
power forward and forward. I mean, you can fit almost two studs. We have 7,500 left, so I'll let you guys fill in the rest at home. But I mean, just stars and studs day with like a mid range like Kelly Oubre.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Anything else you want to add before we get out of here?
No, running late. I gotta build MLB too. But yeah, guys, definitely get in the Discord, like the video, all that good stuff. We're grinding right now, but this is the best time of year for these major
Yeah.
sports, so let's keep it going.
Just real quick, Melton's active. Does that kill Payne? No. Joel or Wemby? Wemby and
Wemby.
Jose in the dummy build. Can you concentrate on the preferred studs? I mean, like I kind of just listed the studs that we want to
Wemby
get
and
to.
Luca, and then the
Yeah.
Kings guys after them, in my opinion. But I don't mind mixing in like a Jokic or Giannis. But yeah, if I'm ranking them, it's Wemby first, then Luca. Then I'd probably go Sabonis, Fox,
Yep.
Brunson.
And I'll throw Siakam in there. But we got to go.
Nice.
Appreciate you guys watching today. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.